Viewers, hello. Good afternoon. Sawadee Cap from Thailand. How are you doing? Welcome back to Thailand. Welcome back to Dubai. I hope you're doing well. It is in the afternoon here in Thailand, around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Running a bit late, normally do this in the morning. But for instance, so got little jobs different. Uh, um, anyway, yeah, so it's first day, back, most people gone back to work. I don't think things actually, I think they'll extend their time schedule to the week, so, but I think a lot of people have gone back to work, even though the restaurant was the family city where I live, still open. And the water splashing finished just down the road from where I am, because I'm in Jomtien, is on the 19th. So yeah, so still got a bit of time yet, for instance. But people go home and we go into the quiet season. So yeah. Anyway, so okay, so for instance, yeah. So for instance, well done to them. I'm happy because, quite even though I'm not an Arsenal fan, I've always had a soft spot for Arsenal. That soft spot has kind of raised a bit because of the arrogance of the Arsenal fans, and they were towards Manchester City and outside the Emirates over the weekend. They were Arsenal, what do you call it? T-shirts with 20 written. They've already won Real Madrid. So be humble for God's sake. Show some respect. Anyway, but I'm happy for them to got through it, and because regardless of how much I feel about Arsenal fans, I feel a lot less physical regarding to Real Madrid. It's not the fact that I go to Real Madrid. I just feel arrogant towards Rodri turning up at my door, and also they're kind of like an entitled club, and they get far too much rub of the green, and for instance, a bit showing favoritism, even though they don't deserve it. So I don't. And for instance, and they haven't been good all season. I think Atletico was the better team against them, but and they've lost a few times today. For instance, I think they just got away with it. The fact that they're Real Madrid, the royal club, and I think they can do what the hell they like, except for instance, and they normally do what they like, away with it. So, for instance, so I'm happy that, for instance, they got knocked out. I'd hate them win it again, the Champions League. So Barcelona for me. I've always been a Catalan. Guardiola, etc. Mallorca. For instance, they have a Mallorcan flag, etc. Sorry, Morocco Catalan flag. For instance, is there an island? It was an island. Yeah. Wonder what happened to that. Anyway, yeah, happy for them. Other results yesterday was Newcastle 5, Palace 0. That was a bit of a shock. I thought they were all right. Well done, Newcastle. Nil put out time. For instance, so yeah, on to Newcastle 5-0. 10 goals in 2 games for Palace, which is for them. Because they were like the best defense in the league. Conceded 10 goals in 2 games. Well, there you go. Let's go. I believe we sat here. But it just shows the importance of the Man City Palace win. Yeah, I can't stress that at the moment. Anyway, so let's move on. Look at me on a motorcycle. Oh, just absolutely. We have this thing called the today's thing. Have one at Christmas time, and now we have one during Cran. And it's so important that, for instance, you take care on the roads here. I think there was 100 deaths in 2 days over here on the roads, for instance. And just so many foreigners flying around without helmets on, without T-shirts. It was raining again. You should see their faces. It's raining. Yeah, while they're riding the bike. No, honestly, you've got to be smart. Honestly, just because of the locals and you think you can get away with it, it's stupid. You've got one heart, 2 lungs, blah blah blah. But you've got to be smart. So you can't go around riding motorbikes, etc., like an idiot. Anyway, so let's move on. So the new kit for the Club World Cup came out. One part of it, I think it's one of them, came out. So I don't even notice it. That was yesterday, so I wasn't whether that's a leak kit. Not so sure about that. Looks like considering Real playing was orange, yesterday. I don't want to be linked with them, and it looks like the Netherlands kit more than anything else. So that one with the black one, I always like the stripes, but not so sure about that. It doesn't look Manchester City, does it? You know what I mean? I don't like these kits. The new Man City kit with the blue, which is the white stripe going across. That just looks amazing. But this one, I'm not so sure. Also, interesting news and news. The 1894 group supporters group announced two demonstrations, 7 p.m. for the Villa and Wolves game. What's it called? Protest on the concourse. Again, continuing our fight against Viagogo and for the Champions League. Champions League. We need to get the pressure on, not the Champions League. Season tickets. We need to get the pressure on the city, even though the city have frozen the prices. We still need to keep the pressure on the club to show respect for the fans, and we need to get rid of Viagogo or No. Anyway, so this was a nice picture of Erlin Haaland running up and down, which I was very happy to see. Again, I was saying he had a ligament damage injury, which I've had 1,000 times with my ankle. So I was good, but seeing him training there, I expect him to be back very soon. Big up to the under 18s, beating Liverpool 5-0 yesterday. That was good as well. Well done to them. Inter Milan, been linked with Kevin De Bruyne, the latest to, and I believe what's it called? The relationship between the Man City and De Bruyne, for instance, is a bit frosty at the moment because Kevin, I believe, definitely wanted to extend his contract, but the club was not willing to do so. Me personally, I think it was a bad mistake, and we definitely need to keep him on. I know people are saying we need to move him on because he hasn't played well, but he's had a hernia all year, and he showed on Saturday how the importance of keeping him. And I just think Man City need just to, show him a bit of respect and just give him one more season. And because I know there was a big link with Florian Wirtz as his replacement, but it's not a given. For instance, it's 150 million. We don't know, for instance, how he's going to settle in. If he's coming to City, we're in a one-to-one fight with Leverkusen. Sorry, with Bayern Munich. I think it's down to the family, and for instance, because the father, I think his father's what do you call it, his agent. So I'm not so sure whether what's good, but it's going to be because his father's German. Bayern Munich is the biggest German club, and so could be like the Bellingham thing last season, etc. And we put all our eggs and ducks in one basket, and I want to find out that, for instance, he's gone to another club. So the last thing I want that to happen, and then we leave the likes of Kevin De Bruyne go. So, for instance, it's careful what you wish for, as it were. For instance, you've got to. I think there's a lot of City fans saying, "All these players, get them out. The wash, get them out, get them out." But again, for instance, you got to be smart. You don't know, for instance, how the players you're bringing in are going to be as good as what you think they're going to be. Took a year for Rodri to settle down. Come on, we got to be smart, and it's easy to say that there's been a drop off, but there's been a drop off with injuries, and as well as drop off of players. So, for instance, it's been a combination of why Man City has not been great this season. And with Kevin De Bruyne's hernia, Phil Foden has been a drop off for his mental, and Ilkay Gundogan because he's supposed to be playing in that particular position, but he's also been asked to play 100 more games. He was on the news as well. Appears that he's interested in being a coach. Whether he'll go to Turkey or Galatasaray or Fenerbahce, for instance, whether because they've been linked with him, is unsure. Bernardo Silva again is strong links to Benfica, even though Bernardo's showed interest that he wants to stay at City, but we'll see how things pan out. A few other things yesterday. AC Milan, I think again we talked about Kyle Walker. Appears that, for instance, the return He could play for the Club World Cup. What's the goal? But depending on what whether he'll come to City or football, or he'll just go. We'll even any offers which come on. But we'll see what happens there. Leverkusen, McAtee, interested in going there. Who knows? Again, that's just sports. We don't know that or not. But I think Leverkusen need to get a bit of help with the first exercises. If they want Ortega and McAtee, we'll see how that goes. Next, it's like going to Villa. Again, we've got to be smart with these transfers. Got to get them in. But again, we'll see. But again, it's not a given until these things get see a player, a T-shirt or signing him on the contract. Javi Siemens, also of Leipzig, is linked. I moved to Manchester City, but again, for instance, it's again, it's a lot of is good enough for people. He's not great. Again, he would as a replacement to Ilkan. Who knows? Oh, sorry, not to replacement guy. Bernardo. There was Tin Randers, which I think could be a interest, and for instance, well, because that seems to be building up this guy, but I don't know. For instance, again, he sources at Gazzetta dello Sports, Martin Blackburn, I've got it saying that, for instance, he's, but that seems to be becoming more of a. I think, for instance, when you listen to reports, if the reports are continuous and coming out, you've got some legs into it. But if it just, Man City are going to pay 265 million for, and that guy from Barcelona, 17-year for Barcelona, and they haven't heard a single thing since then. That's a lot of crap. But again, there's a lot of these speculation you don't really know. But for instance, it's going to be an interesting summer. It really is, and I'm worried because I don't know whether for City are just basically just going to get rid of a lot of players, and they're going to retire, for instance, and then we're going to bring a lot of new players in. It's going to be a very interesting summer, and I'm going to be I'm going to be a contender and think how it's going to work. People expect to be back next season, but whether players we get in are going to fit in the system, whether we lose because looks like we're going to get new goalkeepers. By the looks of it, Edison has got a groin, so we will not see him by the end of the season. Maybe he's played the last game. I don't know. Again, it's going to be an interesting summer. I'm nervous to say the least. But we'll see. Anyway, so ladies and gents, boys and girls, I will get going. I'll speak to you tomorrow. I got United tonight. I don't know whether I'm going to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch them lose. Knowing my luck, I'll stay till 3 o'clock in the morning. They'll win. But for instance, I hope to wake up with a big smile on my face, and knowing they've got out, or Spurs. Anyway, but other than that, for instance, I'm going to bid you a good day. Again, I'm not going to go too much into these transfers until I get more legs. Again, and I could spend half an hour talking about whether we're going to get Javi Siemens and, give him his position and how he fit in the team, or to find out he could go somewhere totally different. But the Florian Wirtz thing is interesting. I just think we should hold on to De Bruyne. We got so signed up. LB was convinced that we wouldn't be getting rid of KLB if we haven't got Florence Wirtz in or something settled. But I don't know. Until that player signs on the picture with the City shirt, what's to go down, everything's up for debate. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Sorry, Cat from Thailand. Sorry, I'm running a bit late. I had phone issues and camera issues as well today, but that's my issue, not yours. I'm going to speak to you tomorrow. Good luck to, for instance, see how Spurs get on tonight as well. That's going to be funny. Who was the worst penalty last night? I saw the two shocking penalties. Saka's penalty or Eze's penalty. Which one was yours? Which is the most p-rolling penalties? Shocking, terrible penalties. What were they both thinking? Honestly. Anyway, so sorry, Cat from Thailand. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. And hopefully we'll get some concrete information about what's going on in the transfers, rather than listening to a lot of speculation from he said, she said nonsense. But I'm sure that's going to continue from now until we get players in and signed on the paper. You know, we've still got a good few weeks now before the transfer window actually opens. Anyway, sorry, Cat from Thailand. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you think. What's your favourite penalty from last night? Take care, guys. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Sorry, Cat from Thailand.